Hey guys, Alex Loosmore here. Just want to talk to you guys for a quick second about our partnership with Zagnif Apparel. So you can visit Zagnif Apparel today for all your apparel needs. From activewear to casual clothing, Zagnif Apparel has something everyone is guaranteed to love. Visit ZagnifApparelDesign.com today and use the code NEP15 as you see it on the screen for a 15% discount on select items. Zagnif Apparel, dress like you're already famous.
Hey guys, how's it going? Well, I had a guest with me and he bailed, I guess. So, going to talk a little bit of Super Bowl talk here. Leagues talk, whatever comes up. So, right off the bat, who's everybody going with? And Scott Thaler, you're out there somewhere, aren't you? Oh. So, any comments here? Here's the way I see this game playing out. The Buccaneers played the Chiefs, and the Chiefs O-line was pretty shaky back then, and we destroyed the rest of it. And the game turned out 31-9. The number one offense versus the number one defense in the Super Bowls is at standing 0-4. So defense wins Super Bowls in this instance. The Eagles, they're the most well-rounded team out there, and they scare me because they got great drafts coming up this year. I can't see the Chiefs winning this game. I just can't, because that defensive line against their offensive line the Chiefs line doesn't stand up. The offensive line for the Eagles is the better of the two, and games are won in the trenches. It's always been that way. It just always is. You can't have a running game if you don't have trenches set up for it. You can't have a passing game if you don't have your trenches set up for that to stop the pass rush. So it's just, to me, it's just how long is it going to take before the Chiefs collapse? How much of a game we actually get out of it. So that's where I stand with that right now. Sorry about that. I had messages. Anybody got something to say about that? Nobody arguing? Nobody, this could end up being a very short show. Around the news, nobody's still settled on a offensive coordinator for the Bucs yet. They're doing their due diligence, that's for sure. Good luck with that one, Alex. And you can jump in here anytime you want to argue your side of that. I know this is bad radio right here. It just popped up. There it is, Slick.
How's it going, brother? I had to get a cold one.
Look like a monster, but I know you don't drink those things over in England, man. You drink beer.
I drink beer, a bit of rum, Jägermeister, whatever's going.
Well, I made my point for the Eagles.
Yeah.
You got any?
I think like I caught what you said about the trench warfare, and I think it does come down to that. Well, Chris Jones on the other side of on the other team that's playing pretty well, but like, what do they have? What else do they have in a pass rush? Because you can double one. You can double one. How you can?
I don't even think that. I don't even think that's the thing with the Eagles. I don't think they have to double anybody on pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
They can chip with the running back. They got a whole roster of running backs that can, each one of them can take the first number one spot at any given time, and you can just chip with the running back. Jason Kelsey's a monster, dude.
He is,
and the whole offensive line is just beasts. That's
absolutely. I think that's the only thing that I would say Casey has going for it. They do have a really good pass rusher in, but that's the only one I know of the top of my head that's playing at that like kind of elite level, Pro Bowl level, that kind of thing. On the other side, they've got a decent line. I mean, they've got a couple of Pro Bowlers, all pros in there as well. So it's a better offensive line than they had when they played against us. So they can't use that excuse anymore.
And I don't know if they have the talent there on their defensive line to hold the edges and keep Jalen Hurts in check. I just don't.
And that's what we're going to have to see. The contain guys are going to really have to play contain on him, keep him in the pocket. But this guy can throw. It's not he's mobile, but he can throw. He's a bit like Mahomes in that respect. Mahomes is more of a thrower, but he can throw off any platform, which is the only thing that gives. I'd say you can't count Kansas City out because of it. But apparently their wide receiver crew's all banged up. McCole Hardman's just had a baby. We heard about his partner's waters are broke or something like that. Then there's this so-called flu that's hit the team or something like that. For me, it just feels like a prepare for when they lose, they've got a reason.
Yeah, they're prepping. They did that same thing with us.
Exactly.
They did the same exact thing with us, man. Oh, this guy's hurt. That guy's hurt. That guy's hurt. We don't have offensive linemen. Okay, so we're supposed to just lay down and let you play? No.
Exactly. And this is the thing. But for me, I think the cool story here is Jalen Hurts, the Alabama reject that goes to Oklahoma, drops in the draft. I can't remember which round it was, either third or second. I'm not entirely sure. He wasn't drafted massively high. Philadelphia Eagles go get him. And in a couple of years, it took him a few years. They lined him up with some weapons. And now he looks like a very good quarterback.
He is. I liked him. When I saw him in the Senior Bowl, I think it was, it might have been
one of those postseason kind of all-star kind of bowl things.
Yeah, it was one of the draft bowls, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked really sharp.
He's a good player.
I liked the kid in San Diego. What's his name?
Purdy or the other one?
Quarterback for Chargers.
Oh, Herbert.
Herbert, yeah. I liked him a lot when he was in. I think they just don't put a team around him.
He's got skills, but I don't know what it is about that team that they just can't get over the hump.
They just can't develop a team around him. It's like they get a few pieces, but they never build the whole piece.
Yeah, because I mean, realistically, you've got he's got a good wide receiver and a good running back, and then after that, it kind of fades out.
Yeah, on the lines too, they went and drafted a really good offensive lineman. Got a couple of okay ones there, but they don't fill out the spots. You got Joey Bosa on defense, but then where else do you got your strengths there? They went.
They got safety.
Mac, but he's long in the tooth now, man. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it catches you up eventually, doesn't it? So Yeah, I think for me that this Super Bowl is going to be interesting. Is it going to be the excuse bowl? But one thing that people have been saying, and I don't know where your opinion is on this, Benny Boy's in.
Benny
What's up,
boy,
guys?
how you doing, Ben?
Up close. Good.
Avocado tequila, I love that shirt. That is.
Johnny
if we're going
didn't
to break, it's the last time it can be worn. So
Yeah. Well,
I'm going.
Johnny
I'm going
didn't
to
like it. Johnny didn't like it in the comments earlier. Like,
My ass. Avocado tequila, my ass. Oh,
the
what's
most.
up, fellas?
Yeah, we're just breaking down a little bit of this game and looking at the matchups and.
It's gonna be a great game today. It's gonna be a great game. Hopefully.
yeah, I'm glad you added the hopefully thing in, because to me, it looks like it could be a repeat of what we did to the Chiefs. It honestly could. I don't see. I'm seeing a offensive line that can't stand up to the Eagles' defensive line. Okay, the Eagles and that depth. The Eagles have depth on both lines. They've got people who could play starter on both sides in the second and third string, man. And their running back game is like 15 deep. You know what I mean? Not to mention the quarterback, you know.
I was on another show earlier. I mentioned the only real weakness, I don't even know if you can call it a weakness for Philly, is their secondary, but because they don't really have depth beyond Slay and those guys. But other than that, there's really not a weakness on the Eagles.
Yeah, there's not. That is their thinnest spot, but still, when we're talking about the thinnest spot on that team, you're still talking about a brick wall for anybody else, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, Slick, I mean, what do you think today? What are the keys for you for this game?
If the Chiefs want to win, they got to keep Mahomes clean, because we saw what happened when he runs outside. Yes, he can do those sidearm passes. Yes, he can do all the flashy stuff, and sometimes it will connect. But ultimately, you keep that guy running around, running for his life. You're kind of setting yourself up for success. Also, what we do know with offensive lines is mobile quarterbacks who you're trying to buy time in the pocket by running around, and they usually get caught for holding eventually. And that could be a big penalty.
That's when you're putting your pressure on the offensive line. Yeah,
exactly. Because you don't know where your quarterback is, because he's shuffling around so much. So 1 minute he's here, then he's there, and obviously your D lineman's changing his leverage because he can see where the quarterback is, because his eyes are drilling through. So this is where it's going to come. It's going to come down to trench warfare. Absolutely.
And you know what's funny is that the leading sack leader for the Eagles is a linebacker, Hassan Reddick. He's a linebacker. I mean,
it's not really funny. I mean, Ray Lewis was the leading sack guy for.
Yeah, but I mean, it kind of reminds you of those Ravens days. You know, when a linebacker.
It does actually. It does a lot.
In sacks, I mean, the Eagles had like 70 sacks on this season. I mean, they led the league. That's impressive. I mean, they got to keep Mahomes clean. You're right, but I think one good thing about Mahomes, though, not having Tyreek Hill actually made him a better quarterback.
I believe so too.
He sees he's got more weapons to go.
It gave him more options that he had to force himself to pay attention to. Yeah,
right. I think that's what made him a better quarterback.
But then again, we're looking at this, and Mahomes hasn't. What McCole Hardman might get a touchdown today just to celebrate something for his son or daughter or whatever he's having. You know what I mean? But I don't, dude. If they thought Winfield was a problem, Darius Slay is going to be a serious problem for them guys.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
He ain't going to get away with nothing. He's not going to those trick throws of his and stuff. Slay ain't going to bite on that. Slay's a seasoned vet and a professional.
They just hired Vic Fangio for like a couple of weeks. The Eagles signed him on for the Super Bowl.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting.
And those mind games the Chiefs are playing about being sick there and hurt there. Give me a break, man. That shit didn't work against the Bucs. It ain't going to work with them. And I hate. I'm sorry. I know this is an NFL show, and I shouldn't show any bias, but I hate saying anything positive about the Eagles. I hate them. Okay.
I get your feels.
But I got to be unbiased and call it the way I see it, man.
Nick Sirianni seems like a great, a cool coach. Love the story with the quarterback in Jalen Hurts. They literally did what they went, okay, we're going to see if you can play quarterback, because he when he played last year, he was good, but he wasn't great. So they got him all these weapons. They built a lot more around him. It's like, right, now you're going to have to show us. And he showed us. This is exactly what, it's what we have a phrase in the UK says, it does what it says on the tin. He did what he was supposed to do. And
That Eagles draft class last year might have been one of the best of any single team since Jimmy Johnson.
Okay. Well, he could
And
argue-
Sirianni, speaking of him,
Yeah.
he 100% embodies the Eagles. That's that team. He's reflective of that fan base, 100%.
Yeah. Brash, cocky. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
He
you
probably
could
throws
say
beer cans
Seattle.
at Santa Claus.
You could say Seattle this year with their draft class. They hit on a lot of good picks, and they were able to go to the playoffs when we thought
Yep.
they'd be like a 4-13 team. They ended up going. So, yeah, I mean, next year the Eagles going to have a top 10.
I want the Hall of Fame honors to specify comeback player of the year, because in my mind, a comeback player is one who was out there, got injured, and then came back this year stronger, looking good. That's what I envision a comeback player as being, not somebody who has sat on a bench for 18 years or whatever and friggin' finally learned how to fucking play football. That's the developed player of the year, if you ask me. You know what I mean?
That's a really good assessment of what you just said, developed player of the year, because I've looked at the criteria for this thing, and it's basically you're going either injury and coming back from injury and playing well, or you're going from having a bad season to a great season. And he never had a bad season because he never actually played.
Right. Well, he had a bad season with the Jets when they drafted him, but then other
That was
than
a long
that,
time
he hasn't
ago.
played. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's taken time to sit there and develop, and that's where I see Geno Smith at, is like the best developed player of the year. That if they had an honors for that, then I would gladly say, yeah, take that. But CMC, the guy who wasn't supposed to finish the season, Dalvin Cook, guy who wasn't supposed to finish the season, those guys to me were comeback players, man.
Mm-hmm. And our own Chris Godwin.
Yeah, Chris Godwin. I keep
I
forgetting about
would
Chris.
put Godwin in only because he got injured in December. He played most of last season. He got hurt in December.
But coming back from an ACL is always impressive.
Yes.
It is, but yeah, I mean, but he didn't miss an entire season. Like, you know,
Get your spot, Alex. Get in your damn spot. So, did you hear any of that we just said?
No.
I said
they were just sitting saying, man, I hope that freaking Michigan loving dude from Canada doesn't show up.
well,
I mean, I
supposed
can
to
go.
say
That's
that, man. Come on. No, we was talking about Geno Smith as a comeback player, and I don't like that designation for him. To me, Geno Smith is the most developed player of the year. I could give up that title all
Most
day
improved
long.
player.
Because that's, to me, that's what he
most
is.
improved, yeah.
But comeback player to me has always been the guy who, was injured, comes back from an injury, and does a great job. And
Yeah. Yeah, I
Well,
agree with that.
I mean, you can roll with that, but I mean, and this is just me. I'm also thinking like guys who, for one reason or another, maybe they were a starter. Now they're riding the pine, and for whatever reason they got the opportunity to, they got their Eminem moment, capturing it or letting it slip, and they definitely ran with it.
But how does it fit comeback? Because he never came the first time, so it can't be back. I know. I'm glad Jason.
No,
ain't here,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
you get my point, right?
And
Yeah.
it's valid, but there's an argument for everything. That's the beauty of this.
Yeah,
thing.
I love that. I love debate.
But yeah, I do. I completely agree. I think it should. I mean, if someone was a starter and they had a bad year for whatever reason, and then the next season they're like lit again, then
Yeah, well, that was my question. My question wasn't Geno a starter before?
yeah, but like a decade ago, wasn't it?
Beginning of his career.
I was
And
going to
he
say the
lasted-
last time he was a starter was what, 2017, 2018?
And
So it's technically a comeback.
let's go over the word starter.
Yeah, it's a
itself,
long
because
road
he never really
comeback.
had a full season start. He was a starter and then got pulled and benched and backups put in, and He never was a full season starter.
Well,
So I think he's the most improved. Yes, the most developed because he's had development. That's what he was on the bench for the whole friggin' time was to develop him. So he developed. He's the most developed player. But comeback player, you got to kind of like be there in order to come back. And he was never there.
That's just it. He was. They said, we want you to be that guy. And then he wasn't. And then they said, nah, we changed our mind. You sit down. And then he, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just me. If you ever at any point set foot, I mean, okay, it's just like, sorry, I don't mean to pluck at a old wound, but if all of a sudden, you know, somebody said the Green Bay Packers said in surprise signing, Josh Freeman is the starting quarterback in Green Bay, and he comes to Green Bay and he lights it up like he'd be the comeback player of the year.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, I see your point.
Yep.
Over someone like Dalvin Cook. No, I can't put Geno over Dalvin Cook, man. I just can't. Or CMC.
I mean,
It's in a comparison. In a comparison, he just doesn't. He came in. He wasn't injured last year. He wasn't injured the last couple of years. He just couldn't play the game until he developed. You know.
no, but I mean, I get what you're saying, Johnny, and you make some good points. But I'm thinking, you know, did we really know Geno Smith was going to be a good quarterback again? Though we knew that.
No, but and that's due to development. That's what
Geno Smith was out. Geno Smith was out there looking like somebody's on the team's dad.
Geno Smith gives hope to Jameis Winston. Okay, yay.
Are you sure about that?
You sure? Yeah, I was gonna.
I mean, if Geno Smith come back, Jameis should be
You see that couple seasons from now, Jameis has a great
give Jameis 8 more years on the bench, and he'll
couple seasons from now, Jameis has an incredible season, and they're getting ready for the playoffs, and the guys are hanging out together, and they're doing a little segment on Jameis, and they're like, "So Jameis, you celebrated in a special way with the guys. What did you do?" And they cut to the thing, and the guys are all sitting around. It's like, I bought him. We having a crab ball.
Would he be doing this too?
Boy.
Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say, is he putting the legs into like W's and like
Right.
That would be inventive. That's probably his Super Bowl pie, isn't it? Crab leg shaped at W's.
yeah.
He's
We gonna eat
right
a W.
now. He went all the way down to Florida to get some Publix.
Wait a minute. How about wait a minute. Well, he was already in Florida because he got drafted from Florida State.
No, I mean now he's in.
He's saying like if he went and won the Super Bowl now.
Oh, okay, I got you. Well, the eat a W thing was bad enough, but it was bad enough that he did it. But how do you think the rest of his teammates that went along with that crap felt? Like it's like,
Oh yeah.
just look at Deshaun Jackson's reaction.
Yeah,
to that.
one of those guys, I can't remember who it was that just slapped his hand down when he was doing it on the camera one time after a win with the Saints.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? I can't remember who it was that slapped his hand down, but he slapped his freaking hand down. He said, "Don't do that shit in front of me, man."
Probably Cam Jordan, to be fair.
It might have been Cam
It
Jordan.
might have been, yeah.
kind of like Will Smith slapping Kevin James and switch.
That he maybe
Matt,
said,
that's
pay your
not where I
taxes.
thought you were going when you said Will Smith slap.
Kevin Hart bump.
Yeah. Don't you ever talk about Jameis Winston like that?
Jameis Winston's name.
Came out of your mouth.
Out your mouth. There's a new. That's the new phrase. That's gonna be the new phrase. It's not. That's my quarterback. Get my quarterback's name out your fucking mouth.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So
You know, some offensive lineman's gonna use that.
I'm gonna go ahead and poke him there again. I'm gonna Dayball. I like Dayball, but he didn't even get to the playoffs. So
Yes, he did.
like Dan Campbell.
He won a playoff.
Yeah, okay, he got to the playoffs like the Bucks did.
What a
I don't
playoff
consider-
game, dude.
No,
I
he won a
don't-
playoff game.
I don't
Johnny.
consider the Bucks a playoff team either. Okay,
Johnny, he beat the Vikings in the playoffs.
A high seeded team as well.
Yeah,
He went on the road and beat
Okay,
Minnesota.
I'll give Dayball a little
Yeah.
bit of credit. A little bit of credit.
Right, yeah. I'll
I'm
roll
fighting for
on
him so
you.
hard because it's a Canadian-born head coach winning a Super Bowl. Or, sorry, not a Super
Winning
Bowl.
a Super Bowl, he won a Super Bowl. Okay,
Give it time.
I thought you'd be a Dan Campbell supporter.
Johnny, I'm
Well, I love me some Dan Campbell, but
But
Dave
I was
coach
more
this year.
impressed with what Peterson did this year than any of them.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Well, don't
I
go
slightly
there.
they
disagree.
stood in the corner about halfway through the season, and they look really good.
The only reason I disagree with that is with what Dable did with Daniel Jones.
Did you
He
guys
made
see
him
what
actually look like a
Anthony
starting
shared out
quarterback.
today?
What's that?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you guys see what Anthony shared out today?
Nope.
No, I didn't get a
No.
chance.
Okay, you didn't share that to them, Anthony. The Steamer
What's
thing.
that? Oh, I didn't send it to. I think Slick's the only one that didn't get it because I don't think he was.
I
on
was
the
like,
show that night.
I know he sent me something. I just haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's hilarious. You guys.
Oh,
check
it
it
has something. It's a Facebook story, so I don't know how long it's going to be up, but it has something to do with a
It's
very.
long enough.
It
Gets the point
has
across.
something to do with a very infamous show that involved Deshaun Watson and
Oh,
the
God.
city he used to play in, and lots of jokes in there. Johnny, I'm sorry, man. My 12-year-old mind kicked in. The way you pronounce the Giants coach's last name is like, is he talking about
The ball?
coach? Is he talking about? No, you said Dayball. I'm like, is he talking about the coach of the Giants, or is that like when you get like a quickie with your work wife at lunch? And then you went right from that into it. Yeah, I really like Peterson too, and I just like I'm lost.
It could have been worse. You could have said Pedersen.
Jason's back.
Yeah. Yeah.
They said penicillin. Like, what?
Right. Well, no, we've been between us and the infamous Cleveland show, but then all of the stuff we got fed from our two former top fans. It's hard not to
Yeah.
Oh boy.
We got Scott.
That
Taylor.
was hilarious though, man. I laughed my ass off when
Yeah.
I said that.
Well, we got Scott Taylor now, so he might be close
Scott,
to the
Scott
Jason
knows,
level.
Scott knows how to keep it under wraps, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, no, for me, just to bring this back to the coach of the year discussion.
Is that what we were talking about?
Oh, that's what we were trying to talk about, I guess. How Dable worked with Daniel Jones to make him, he is a top 32 quarterback in football now. Like, there's no denying that.
I'll get back to that one in a second.
Helping him limit his turnovers and just be that game manager, I think he absolutely deserved it.
He did help Daniel Jones avoid turnovers, but did he settle the question? Is Daniel Jones what the Giants wants to keep?
He's going to be a Giant next year for sure.
Because they're still in that in that mode where they don't know what to do with him.
Nah, they're going to be a Giant next year. He's a Giant next year.
I definitely think he's a Giant next year. Now I think it's another like 1 or 2 year deal, but he's their starting quarterback next year.
Well, I can see them wanting to keep him because it's going to be iffy to find a draft pick right now to replace him. They can draft somebody.
Well, they would go
right
the free
now.
agency route, I think.
You can draft somebody, but there's no guarantee you're going to get the same production. So go with what you've got. What
You
you've
can
got.
draft
You've
somebody
got
and bring behind Daniel Jones for a year and see what happens. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And
But I mean,
insurance blanket, man, just in case.
But
he
if he's smart,
regresses.
he's not going to take a 1 to 2 year deal. He's going to take a 4 year deal. I
almost disagree with that too, because if look at what Dable did from getting in there to year 1 with Josh Allen, and then year 1 to year 2 with Josh Allen, like that.
But where are they going to go? You've got leverage on the team. You go, where are you going to go? At least a 3 year deal.
I think he takes that risk, that 1 to 2 year deal, betting on that progression again, and then he strikes that massive deal.
I could see a 1 year deal because I don't think a lot of teams are
They
going
could
to
tag him though.
offer him a lot.
I could definitely see the tag too, because I don't think they want to tag Saquon. I think they want to sign Saquon.
Yeah. If you tag Daniel Jones, you're tagging him at what, $40 million? Is that the going price for a top 5 quarterback now?
I think the franchise tag for the quarterback is set somewhere between 30 and 35.
Okay.
This year.
That's a lot of money still to throw.
It's 1 year. If you got the cap space.
Well, I agree with the 1 year, and I agree with Dalvin Cook. They're going to want to sign him, but they still got question marks there too. Can he stay healthy another year? That's the whole business side of football, man. It's so difficult when you're in a situation like the Giants and the Maras are sitting there going, "We want to win now, motherfucker." You know what I mean? And they're very patient people. but they're tired of losing.
Yeah, but you just in year one you got them 10 wins in a playoff.
I haven't
like,
forgotten. I still hear that interview with Mara, the owner, man, and he was adamant about this isn't going to keep going on, man.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is look at year one with Dayball and look at the other coaches. None of these other coaches they had recently had.
Well, yeah, I
any
think they're
years as
happy
good
with
as this one,
Dayball
like-
because, for one thing, Dayball plays their style of football. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And another thing is they limited what Daniel Jones could hurt them with. But
Yeah.
is that limitation? Is that the best you're going to get from him, or what?
Well, and that's why I think it's that shorter deal to wait and see.
Like kind of stuck it and see.
Okay, we got breaking news here. Kind of along. It's kind of what Skull Gang said there.
Are we going to start singing the
So-
Saints song now?
Derek Carr has informed the team he won't accept a trade to the Saints or any other team. The team is expected to release him, and he'll be a top free agent.
He don't want to be traded to
He
where?
will not accept a trade to the Saints
Orleans.
or any other team.
Thank
Yeah,
God.
There's
He's
no
not
trade
going to
clause in
accept a
contracts.
trade.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he still spent a lot of time with the Saints, so that's still a possibility.
So he doesn't want to be traded. He wants to go. Basically,
Yeah,
he wants
he's
to go
not
on his
going to
own
accept
free
a
will.
trade, so he will be released. That means if he got released today, he could sign today.
Oh man, stay away from the
He can
Saints.
sign
I don't
before
need
the
no more
beginning of free
competition in the
agency.
NFC South. Christ. And I'm not the guy who says Derek Carr's a piece of crap. He's not. He's a good quarterback.
He's in that 11 to 15 range of
And you see
quarterbacks.
what the Saints do without a quarterback?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the Colts hired a offensive coordinator for the Eagles today. Now maybe the ball starts
Shane
rolling a little
Steichen,
bit.
yeah.
Maybe bring in Carr to Indy. That could be a very big possibility.
That would be a good shot. Go to the AFC, stay in the AFC, and stay out of the NFC South, Carr.
Or
please.
Well, you
Carolina.
got the Colts.
Carolina?
The Colts would go nuts to get him. Houston, I think, would. Carolina
Carolina.
would. The Saints would. Like,
Yeah.
I think the Jets would try. Although they just sent out feelers about half an hour ago to the Packers for
I'd
Aaron
give up
Rodgers.
Trask and take Carr just to keep Carr from being on an opposing team in the South.
Fair.
I just don't see it. I don't see the Bucks.
No.
I don't see it either. I just said that's what I would do, just to
We
keep
ain't got the money up
having
with
to
you.
play Carr
Yeah.
with one of these other teams. No, I don't want that.
Now,
Yeah.
at least, because you guys don't have the money. The Saints definitely don't have the money either, but they have easier ways to get the money.
Yep.
So a lot of their guys that they can move save
Well, our
big
cap
chunks
is
of
not
money.
nearly as bad as everybody thinks it is. That's something that we're going to address.
It's still
Hopefully on
second
next
worst in
Thursday
the NFL
show,
right
I've got the guy for Bucks Report that does the cap stuff, and
Yep.
I'm probably going to have him on the show next Thursday for you.
Okay.
So
I just
Yeah.
I didn't want to see these fucking back-ridden contracts where people leave and they're still out fucking they still biting into the cap like Brady. I'm just sick of these deals because all it does is make it worse for years and years and down the line because we're paying for it now. We're paying the piper for what we got. Now,
well, the
but a
entire
Super Bowl out of
NFL
it, so I'm
started
happy
paying the
about it.
piper when
My
they
point
started-
being is you've got to pay the
projecting.
piper eventually.
Yeah.
when this is what started this shit. When COVID, well, that's not what started it, but what really hit the cap situation was when COVID came out. Everybody's expecting these giant jumps in salary cap, and the team owners projected that on their price range, what they were willing to give up for everybody. And then the COVID money didn't come in, and then the COVID money didn't come in, and for 3 years the COVID money didn't come in. Okay, and now that that's settled, supposedly the COVID money's coming in, and it's helping out a lot of these teams like the Bucks. And even though Brady's contract didn't get broke up like we were hoping it would, it's still okay. We're still going to be okay because the increase in the cap, for one thing, helped us out a lot. We're down to like 18 million, and that's cab money for Jerry Jones. He goes into every season with 20 million or 30 million in the hole.
It's insane to think that the most expensive player on your team is not going to see the field at all this year.
Yeah, that's
What Brady is.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
And that's why Trask is going to be our quarterback, and there shouldn't
Yeah.
be a doubt about that.
yep.
We'll see. We'll see.
We're still going to have to bring in a quarterback for backup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Still,
'cause-
you're going to sign 2 quarterbacks at least, so
At
you might
least,
draft
yeah.
one. Might draft
Yeah.
one, but yeah. To be honest, I want to bring someone in. Me personally, and I've spoken about this a larger fair bit on other shows. I want them to bring someone to compete with him. I don't want Trask feeling comfortable. I want
Agreed.
him to go. This is going to be a fucking dogfight. If he thinks he's just going to be gifted a fucking role, we're in big trouble. And I'm telling you right now, if all these people, Bucks fans, I've seen right and go, oh, why don't we just have a year where we just can it? And do you think realistically our head coach can survive canning a year? Realistically, he's already been talked about getting rid of.
I was going to say it depends on the situation. In Tampa
It depends
right now,
if he
not
has
a
a top
chance.
10 defense. If he doesn't have a top 10 defense, he is fucking done. No one
Well,
will
We'll
want
see
him.
what happens because like
Nice.
Levante could be out the door,
Yeah.
Jamel could be out the door, just
Exactly.
money wise. Like you're gonna,
But you're
there's
still expected to
key
get
pieces.
production. That's not the excuse.
Well, if anybody thinks this team is going to be a Super Bowl contender next year, they're dreaming.
Oh,
No,
of course
I
not.
get that, but they still need to be competitive. He
Yeah, it's
can't,
still a
he
results-driven
can't just have
league.
a trash it year so we can go and get a really good draft pick and go and pick a quarterback in next year's draft.
Well, I don't think
That's
anybody's
not gonna- he
planning
can't
on having
survive
a
that.
trashy year. And no player that steps on a football field is
Absolutely.
going out there to lose.
Players don't tank.
Well, guys,
Organizations do.
here's the double-edged
Mhm.
sword about all this. Like,
Hold
If
on
the
a
Bucks
minute.
do-
We got to give
if the
Anthony mention time here.
Go ahead.
He's got whole ass.
yeah, go
Oh
ahead.
no, I wasn't trying to tell you guys that you needed to stop what you were doing for my sake. I just,
Well, we
always
got to
find-
let you promote yourself, sir.
Oh, well, you guys can catch me on Mondays. Colin and I will be back on This Week in Georgia Football. We're going to finally wrap up the Bulldog season because NFL is wrapping up, and then we'll be looking in towards the combine and what the guys are going to do in the combine, and then leading up into the draft. And then we will go back on hiatus until I guess, until round about July timeframe when training camp starts back up. Also, Tuesday nights on NFL. I'm sorry, Let's Talk Football, the roundtable. I also jump in on this show, NFL Edition. You guys know you can find me here on Thursdays. And then if you got a couple of nickels and you got a couple of rusty nickels and a couple of wooden pennies, drop on over to www.zagnifapparel.com. You can get yourself some of this custom signature gear, courtesy of yours truly. We got hats. We got hats, we got toboggans or beanies or toques, depending on whatever you guys call them. We got rain jackets, we got leggings, we got all the stuff. So come on by and stop and see us. Why is it that when I lean back like this and lean my head over that way, then again, y'all remember there was a book, the same woman that wrote the Twilight series, she wrote a book called The Host, and
Yes,
it was about the race of
Yeah.
this race of aliens that had eyes like this.
Yep.
Yeah, I just look like I just came from an alien planet. Take me
Aliens
to
are
your
being talked
leader.
about quite a bit today, aren't they?
Yeah, and I realize that Johnny, you're gonna have a show about that a little bit later on. I might have to peep the replay on that.
All right, bud. All right, you can
But
hang
hey.
around as long as you want and cut out whenever you get one ready to go, bud. All right.
I'm gonna have to dip now because I have not started prepping anything. The game's on in a couple hours, and I want to make sure that I got because I want to smoke the chicken a little bit before I put it in the fryer.
All right, bud. Talk to you
Good
later.
call.
All right,
Okay.
fellas, I'll catch up with y'all later.
Later,
Be good.
Anthony.
See you guys.
And are we actually sure that Alex is not an alien right now? I mean,
I'm
Canada's the
not
one
an
that's
alien.
getting nailed by them aliens right at the moment. So, did you
I can
or
neither
did you not
confirm
run
nor
outside last
deny.
night and look at the sky?
I can neither confirm nor deny my actions.
I mean, yes.
Are you close enough to that area to hear the booms?
No.
You weren't.
No.
Wow, that would have been a trip, man.
I saw all that stuff and I was like, huh. And then I was not close enough for any of it.
Damn. Okay. What the hell was we talking about? Stevie was talking
We're
about
talking about
something.
the Bucks. I was going to say real quick about it being
Okay.
a double-edged sword for them in a way. If they kind of like tank the season, I don't think they will, but if they do, then you really have another bad team in the Saints, depending on what they do. The Falcons even, you could have bad. You might not even be guaranteed a no.
Yeah, you're right.
But if
Yeah.
we do stay competitive, we could still win this division with a
Absolutely.
mediocre division.
And still get a draft pick worth fucking looking at too.
Right. So why don't we just?
Well, no, if you win the division, you're automatically 19th or better.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You could have a top 10 pick
My
record, but
dream-
you're picking 19th.
My dream for the Bucks is to trade every fucking pick this year away for all for futures, and next year go into a draft like the Eagles and be competitive with a solid foundation of youth that's going to be competitive for a while.
You probably have
You
to
just
trade
got to make sure you hit on every one of those picks. We've seen how people do when they get traded picks. Look at the Raiders.
You can't if you get that many picks. It's like the Eagles last year. They had the option that they could just they take 2 no-brainer hits, and then they could just wander around and pick this guy or that guy that they think they might develop to what they're like. And look what it did for them. It worked perfectly.
Yeah.
And everybody that got those picks, like the Jets, hit on their picks.
But not
Well, you
everyone
like-
does. So that's the thing. Some teams do
Yeah.
and some teams don't.
Well, the Jets usually don't.
I was like,
So that's what I'm
Miami,
saying.
what, 5-6 years ago? No, a bit longer than that. Had 3 first-round picks, and none of them are with the team anymore. It was damn good players. It was Minka and Laramie Tunsil and those guys, but
Yeah, other
none of
teams
them are
want
with your
more.
team anymore. Like,
They didn't want
And,
to
and
play
you
them.
also have like the Raiders, who half their team are in jail or dead.
yeah.
So they couldn't hit
But
on
the
first
point
round.
is,
They got 2
sports
first
science
rounders
has
for
gotten a
Khalil
lot
Mack back
better.
in the day. They got nothing out of it.
Sports science has gotten a lot better. Look at the picks the Bucks have been making. I've got faith in Jason Light. He can
No,
go out
I'm not
there.
saying I don't. I'm just
We'll
like,
have picks.
sometimes I like to have the proven player already.
Yeah, well,
Well,
I
let's
trust
see how
sports science
Well, and that's-
more, and I trust the college. What the college is putting out.
Let's
College
see how
players
Jason
are
Light
so
does
much
now
better today
without
than they were
post
before.
Tom Brady. Let's see how
Yeah,
Jason Light
agreed.
does now without Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's only had one winning season before.
I'm not
Brady.
basing these on Tom Brady though. I'm basing on what's coming
Well-
out in college, and it's harder to miss now than it was 10 years ago.
But I mean, you also talked about what the Eagles did last year. They had the 3 first-round picks within a span of 5 picks.
Right.
They only kept one of those picks. So they picked Jordan Davis. They traded that other first-round pick so the Saints could move up and got their first-round pick this year.
Yeah.
And then they traded the last
That's
of the
what I
3
was
first-round
saying.
picks for A.J. Brown.
That's exactly what I said. I said they had the option to do what they wanted to do. You know?
Yeah, but then
They-
that
they
goes
did-
right into what Slick was saying, where they still wanted to go the proven route, right? Like a lot of these teams, they'll get all those picks so they can get the proven player in the end. The good teams go
to be fair,
proven
most of
players,
these
the
guys are still
rebuilding
young
teams go the
as
young
well.
guys.
Now I'm not so sure about Jason's picks at defensive end because I get it. Because of what's the coach's name? Damn it.
Todd Bowles?
Bowles. Because of Bowles, he wants speed on his defense. Okay.
Mhm.
I think personally you have to mix speed with brawn. Okay. Because if you're going to play teams like the Saints and you're going to play teams in the AFC North and shit, you have to be able to match the intensity level and the strength that they bring to a game.
Mhm.
All right. Because they'll come in and punch you right in the fucking mouth. And if you're just building your team on speed, people like Shoyanka and stuff's going slapped upside the head and going, what the fuck just happened? You got to have that Haloti Nada, that Vita Vea in the middle and stuff. And
Yeah, but you got to remember that
power.
JTS isn't a defensive end. He's an outside linebacker. He's an
it's
edge
the
rusher.
same friggin'
He's
position.
pure. No,
okay?
he's
That's
not.
what-
He's
yes,
not a down line. He's not got hands
That's
in the
what
dirt.
I played. I played defensive end
He's
and
a nine.
outside
He's a
linebacker.
nine
It's
tech.
exactly,
He's miles
it's
away.
exactly
He's
the
pure
same
speed.
thing. A defensive end or DT, the difference
Hey, Ben,
is
how's it going?
hand in the ground, not in the ground. That's the difference.
It's weird being on this side of the.
I played that for friggin' years, man. Leroy Selman played offensive outside linebacker, defensive tackle, and defensive end.
Yeah, but he was we're talking about a Hall of Famer here. That's not JTS. JTS is a speed rusher. That's what he wanted. He wants a speed
That's
rusher. I
all
get where
he
you're
is.
going with this, and I do agree. He over pursues a lot of the time, but I think that's fixable. I think that can be fixed because Shaq Barrett's a speed rusher, but he knows when to use his power.
Shaq Barrett had 6 years behind two of the best ever doing it too.
But not many
That
people
also
can
helps.
play a 9 tech and play a 6 tech. Not many can. It's not that easy.
Yeah.
Because usually your 6 techs are usually a good 30 pounds heavier.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas
Oh,
your other guys,
I had the same arguments with that guy in the blue up there about Aiden Hutchinson. If
Hey,
you
guys,
can do
in
one,
football,
you can
there's
do both.
151 ways to skin a
The
cat.
only difference between
Yeah.
an outside linebacker is he falls back into coverage more often. If you're a straight defensive end, then you're not dropping into coverage. But these days, everybody who plays defensive end is dropping into coverage. They play the outside linebacker position at the same. It's the same thing now.
Well, no. So those aren't the same thing.
No.
Because
There you go.
there's zone blitz schemes where nose tackles drop into coverage. Like,
Yes, but I'm not talking about the nose tackle. What the nose tackle does. I'm talking about
But-
specifically what
but
the
because-
DE and outside linebackers. The difference between those two is that's a very
the
small
difference is what
difference
scheme you
between
run.
the two.
That's the difference is what scheme you run. If you run a 3-4,
Yeah.
they're an outside linebacker. Your defensive end becomes a
3-3,
3-tech.
the outside
And
linebackers.
teams are using the outside linebacker as the defensive end. They have been since the Ravens started doing it a long time ago. It's the same exact thing because they don't like to fucking switch personnel. Just because then that shows the other team what you're doing.
Guys, with that being said, I wish I could stay around for John.
Yeah, I gotta go.
I was like,
But-
I also have to go.
I-
And thanks for the rant, guys, because I didn't get my Rondé rant in this year.
Yeah.
We finally got him in the fucking Hall of Fame. Thank
Well,
God.
congrats.
That's fantastic.
All right, guys, take care. Have a good weekend. Have a good Super Bowl, and I will see you later.
See you later. You got that thread going. Oh,
I saw I gotta go. I thought he was talking about had to go pee. I gotta go too, man, guys. This was just a pop up. So I know Alex has plans. You got to eat pizza, man.
oh no, that's coming. That's coming. Start of the Super Bowl.
Let's
I'm just
start
having
Super
something quick
Bowl.
to eat.
All right.
Keep me tied over.
This has ended a lot more fun than it began. So.
I was watching you, and you're like, "This is gonna be a short show." I was like, "Shit, I better get on quick."
I was like, I can't do this. I'm not Alex. Alex can carry a show. I cannot carry a fucking show, man.
I started getting nervous after 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Shit, am I just yapping?"
Well, and it depends if you've got a chat that's just like going.
Mhm.
It's a lot easier.
I was
to be
praying
on
for
by
somebody to
yourself, but-
comment in the chat. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, you're like, "Is there anything you guys want to talk about?" Like, "Shit, I better get online quick."
Well, I remember a couple years ago, I was running one by myself back when me and Andrew still did shows together, and it was just like nothing in the comments. And then all of a sudden, Johnny was just like, "Do you want someone to hop on?" I was like, "Please."
I'll tell you what, it helps massively.
Oh,
Sometimes
yeah.
just to have someone to bounce off, because you can always have like two people or a group of people. You can bounce off each other for an entire show if you need to.
Mhm.
Who is this? This is Sean. I
I
assume.
was gonna say, I believe Sean.
How you doing, Sean? If that's you. If not, sorry. You didn't put your name in there.
Alex, what's your prediction for tonight?
What shit we never even asked?
I've got Eagles 34-31.
You got it that close?
I really do. It's gonna be hard to limit the Chiefs scoring.
I don't think so. I'm saying it like I just told Stevie earlier and shit. I see this matchup going like the Bucks when they played them in the Super Bowl. And except
I couldn't disagree more
the
with
Eagles'
that, actually.
defense and offensive lines are far stronger than the Bucks were. And
The reason I couldn't disagree more with that is because the Chiefs have to have learned their lesson from that, because all they tried to do all night was launch it down the field. There's no way
In a too
you're
high
going to come in
scout.
with that same mindset, because you don't have Tyreek. What you got to do, and what I fully expect Andy Reid to do, is a lot of these short slants, ins, outs, those zig routes, little angle routes to the running backs, the flat routes. Like, use the speed that you have, get it to the playmakers, get it in their hands quick, and let the playmakers make the plays.
I think the Chiefs score one touchdown in this game. And I think that'll be on McCole Hardman. I think McCole Hardman will get that for his new baby.
I'm going to say McCole Hardman's definitely getting a touchdown tonight.
But other than that, if they dink and dunk their way down the field, when they tighten it up in the red zone, I don't think they're going to move the ball in. They're going to be kicking field goals just like they did against the Bucs, because this defense is a scary bitch.
If you get
That
into these
defensive line,
guys,
ooh.
if you can get these guys the ball, these quick slants and shit, they can easily just take it and go. Because that's the thing is Slay and Bradbury and like that secondary is very good.
Looky here.
But
Holy shit.
What's up, Marty?
Marty,
Hey,
what's
everyone.
up, brother?
What's up? I got a missed your call. I've been tied up. I've actually been working the last 6 days, so I was trying to actually use my cell phone to try to be on.
All
Okay.
right, buddy. Long time no see, man. Glad to see you.
Yeah.
I know, right? How's everybody how's everybody doing?
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
pretty good, man. Getting ready for this game.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to tell Alex why he was all wrong, but I'll let you do
Hey,
it.
only time will tell, yeah?
Yep. Yeah, we
Only
can
time
all
will
talk
tell.
about what we think is going to happen, but you
Alex,
don't know
Alex
until
could
the
be
clock
walking
strikes
into the
zero.
next show going, big pimp. I want to see big shades if you're right.
Oh, if I'm right, he's not hearing the end of it.
Cigar in the mouth.
If he's wrong, I won't hear the end of it either. He'll have all the excuses in the world made up for it.
Well, you know, they're ill
I'll
and
flat out say I'm wrong.
And
they're
then explain
ill
why.
and their wide receiver core's banged
Yeah,
up.
I'll
They're
explain why
already
I was wrong.
they're prepping for a loss. That's damage control ready and done.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. They're already out there whining about, oh, we're hurt, we're sick, we're this, we're that. McCole Hardman's having a baby, blah, blah, blah.
Now they're going to put up and shut up.
I'll take my hat off to them if they win, but
I don't think they're going to win. I think they keep it close, though.
all right,
I have
Marty,
a
who do
hard
you
time
like?
betting against Reed,
What's
Mahomes,
that?
and Kelsey.
Who do you like in this game?
God, I guess Kansas City. Right now, I can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. I really don't care about either team. I'm going Kansas City. I had the
At
Bengals
least he's honest.
a couple weeks ago until
I
it
don't care
wasn't.
about either team either. The Eagles scare me because that depth, man, they're just.
Yeah, when
And
Sue and
the
Linval
fact that
Joseph are
they'll
your
only have
backup
2
D
Super
tackles
Bowls,
and
the
Jordan
Chiefs will have
Davis.
2 Super Bowls, and the Bucs will have 2 Super Bowls. So none of them get ahead of us. That's what I'm looking at.
Well,
Good
Sue's
logic.
also on the Eagles, isn't he?
No. What's that?
Sue? Is Sue still
Yep.
on the Eagles?
Yeah,
Yep.
give him
He's like
another
the
Super
fourth
Bowl ring.
defensive tackle in Philly.
So if they win, he still gets a ring from Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
He's telling them how to
I
fight.
like
him.
to see my boy Slay get one, too.
Hey, dude, Darius Slay is my key to the game.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair.
I mean,
To me,
you
I
saw
actually-
what Winfield did to him. Wait till they get a taste of Slay, man.
My key to my key player for the game is actually Javon Hargrave, the guy that had 11 sacks as a defensive tackle. I think if he can push the middle of the pocket, I think he makes Mahomes' life hell.
They put him and Sue on the field at the same time, Mahomes is going to have a bad day.
Well, and plus you get to
Mhm.
short yardage and goal line and all that, and your defensive line is going to be Sue, Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, Jordan Davis, and Linval Joseph. Like, good luck.
Yeah, I see it being like, I see Mahomes learning what Brady went through.
Fair.
On that note, boys, I got to go. Need
Yeah,
to
me
it quick,
too.
and then I'll catch you guys soon. If there's a game day thread, I'll chat to you guys in that.
Alright,
Until then, double deuces. We'll be back for another one, hopefully.
All right,
Oh,
later,
yeah.
Stevie. Thanks for joining us, man.
Anytime, guys. Much appreciated. Good seeing you all.
And thanks
Yes,
for the help,
you too.
bud. Oh, Marty, what's your key to the game, bud? Are you frozen?
Yeah,
I
he's
think
frozen.
he's either frozen or is taking a glamour shot.
No, he's frozen.
Yeah, see, you're bringing my point around for me, man. I don't see him moving the ball that well against them. I don't. I think he's going to be under pressure like fucking Brady, and that's what we
See, but-
did to him.
Teams have moved the ball on them at times all year. Like,
But he's never. Hey, look what this Eagles defense did to the 49ers with Trent Williams and those guys, and the 49ers have a 10 times better offensive
Yeah.
line than the Chiefs do.
10
But you
times
gotta
better.
say, too,
Nah, like this is like a barely top 5 offensive line with San Francisco versus a 10 to 15 offensive line for Kansas City. It's not that much better.
I wouldn't put them in the top 15. I put them in 16 and below.
You've
But you got
got,
to think too, San Francisco.
Actually, let me go
down
look what the
to
ranking
third.
is right now.
I'm going to say you've got Orlando Brown, who's a good, not great tackle. You've got a top 3. Top 3 center in football this year. Joe Thuney's a very good guard. Cade Mays was a good guard. Like you've got the entirety of Kansas City's offensive line is almost better than San Francisco's. It's just that you've got Trent Williams in San Francisco that makes the difference. The interior of San Francisco's offensive line is terrible.
Oh, I forgot. You got to put 22 on there. Shit. Roderick Johnson, Darian Kennard. Give me the rankings. There it is. Oh, come on, man.
You got the
What's that, Marty?
I was wondering if anyone can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay, I was talking about the Eagles against the 49ers in that playoff game. You got to think, too, they was down to their, fourth quarterback in that game?
And they're 5th at one point. Like,
Yeah. I do feel like a healthy 49er team would have beat the Eagles. But that's been their MO the last 3 seasons. They can't
it
be
was
healthy. It's
it was
like half their
it was
team
going to be close.
is always in
All I got
the hospital.
All I got out of that was that the fucking Eagles have the number 1 offensive rated line, and Chiefs were between 16 and 10 at one point during the season before Week 15.
Yeah,
So
I
that
got
wasn't very
one site
informative.
here. Well, this site I disagree with had Kansas City at 4. They weren't that good.
No.
Yeah, I can't agree with that. But again, that's PFF, who I rarely agree with.
I hardly ever even look at their sites anymore.
This one has Kansas City at 2. Now, is this of the conference championship teams? Oh, it is. Okay. And I agree with that. I think if you look at the entirety of the offensive line, Kansas City's is better than San Francisco, just to go with what we were talking about before. But San Francisco has the best tackle in football. So
I honestly don't feel like we should go for either one of those. If Jimmy G's at the right price, sure. But remember, we're still paying Brady.
I
Yeah, are
do
we
not think
paying
you guys
him
are
the
getting one
full
of the top quarterbacks.
amount?
Yeah, we're paying him the full 35. So that's 35 million
I
against
thought
our
when he
cap right
retired, that was
away.
supposed to go 11.
They were doing something, but I guess it fell apart. Somebody was an asshole, probably. I ain't gonna say Brady was an asshole because Brady's.
Well, and I'd love to talk to
was
that guy you were
hoping
talking
we could
about,
go
because everything I see is the Bucks at negative 55 million still. So I don't know where you're getting this 15
He'll be on.
from. So I'd
He'll
love
be
to.
on.
Yeah.
Just get ready for. Well, you can handle it. You're
Oh,
one
yeah.
of those type of people too. But
I was like, I can't wait for it.
he'll bore you to death with math.
He's not going to bore me at all.
I feel like I wanted David Carr, in my opinion, over Garoppolo.
David Carr,
Derek.
tired.
Derek Carr.
Derek.
Derek Carr. I want Derek Carr, but it's going to be what, multiple first round draft picks, and we're 55 over the cap.
No. They're gonna cut him.
They are.
Yeah,
Yeah. Derek Carr said he's not going to accept a trade to anywhere.
He wants to negotiate his own contract, which is going to be high, which means I don't want Derek Carr at all. I'd take Garoppolo over Carr anyway because he's a good bridge quarterback, and we're not going to be. I don't want to be stuck with a vet quarterback for multiple years on the contract right at the moment. Not unless it's the right one, and I don't see the right one for me to jump on right now anyway.
What about Matt Ryan? We could get him pretty cheap.
Yeah. Do what? Clean up duty?
Yeah, no, stay
Ryan's
far
career is
away from
over.
that, Ryan.
His career's done. I can't believe he still wants to
Okay.
even play.
I do also have to go.
Yeah, I'm going to have to end the show. Glad to see you here, Marty, though.
Yes, it was
Oh, yeah.
really good to see you, Marty.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to whenever I can have spare time. I'm gonna try to see if I can jump in when I can.
All right, well, we'll take you any chance we can get.
Absolutely.
All right. Good seeing everyone.
All right, bud.
Yes, you too.
Let me play this commercial and play it ourselves.
Hey guys, Alex Loosemore here. Just want to talk to you guys for a quick second about our partnership with Zagnif Apparel. So you can visit Zagnif Apparel today for all your apparel needs. From activewear to casual clothing, Zagnif Apparel has something everyone is guaranteed to love. Visit ZagnifApparelDesign.com today and use the code NEP15 as you see it on the screen for a 15% discount on select items. Zagnif Apparel, dress like you're already famous.